Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Counselor Ms. V. This is the Ask the Counselor show, and I'm here today with my special guest, Shari Sullivan. So,
Thank
Shari, how
you.
are you today?
I'm blessed. I'm really well.
Good,
Thank you.
good. So, we're going to talk about foster foster parenting
Hmm.
and the things that surround foster parenting. And Sherry's going to share with us some of her experiences with the parenting. And also, she's going to share with us about her new business or her business that she's had for a little while and how we can join and, join that business and, well, not that business, but join that
Group.
that
Support
group,
group.
support group.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm
That's
fumbling over my
okay.
words this afternoon. But so we'll tie that all together. So again, Sherry, why don't you give us a view about the foster parenting that you did in the past and that you're doing now?
Okay, thank you. Yes, my name is Shari Sullivan, and I am a foster adoptive parent. I typically work with children that are in therapeutic care, and I foster to this day over 30 children. I started fostering in the late 90s, and I took a break here and there, but it's something that I'm very passionate about,
Yeah,
and it's something that I just feel that I'm called to do.
yeah. So what inspired you to do this kind of work?
My grandmother,
Okay.
my family, I always say it's in my DNA.
Yeah,
My grandmother, I watched her, she fostered the community.
yeah,
She fostered communities. Where we live, it did not matter race, creed, or color,
yeah.
background. If you needed a hot meal, if you needed somewhere to live, if you needed warm clothes to put on, she
Right.
was the go to person. So I came up around that. My family exemplified helping and working inside of the community.
Yeah.
So it was just as of that's the only thing
That's
I knew to do.
yeah.
I have my uncle. He was a foster and adoptive parent, so I came up around that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So tell me, you said you work with children in the therapeutic
Therapeutic. Hmm.
foster parenting. Can you
Hmm.
tell me a little bit about that?
Okay, these are children that have, all children that are placed in most of them.
Yeah.
Anytime when you have to be separated from your family, from your biological mom and dad,
Right.
um, it has to be a circumstance in order for a child to be removed from the home.
Right.
So when that happens, that's trauma itself.
Right.
The disattachment from being with your mother.
Right.
Um, so the children that I foster have not only been through that, they have been in care for maybe 2 or 3 times,
Mhm.
or some children that have come to me had been in care since they were 5 or 6, and now they're 7 or 8. So it's been years that they've been in this care.
Right.
So they normally consider them as therapeutic children.
Okay. Yeah. So, and with that, seems like a couple. You're gonna get some mental health stuff with
Lots
that.
of mental
Yeah.
health. Lots of
Yeah.
mental health. Most of the children are in therapy.
Mhm.
Um, they had been in therapy before they came into my
Yeah.
home, and I just continue that on with them. Most of them suffer from, across the border with all sorts of mental illnesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank God for you
Oh,
and the foster parenting organization, and and you gravitating to helping people
yes.
move
We
move through that.
I also provide after hours care.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about that?
After hour care is more for teenage children.
Okay.
Um, I typically get more teenage children than I will younger children. And those are children that typically, with the teenage children, they're not going to a placement, not if they can help it.
Right.
So they'll run away.
Yeah.
And I've been called 4:30 in the morning with
Yeah.
a child that they have found and, on the streets,
Right.
living on the streets, and they have brought to me.
Yeah.
So after hour care is just having my door open anytime throughout the night to say when the DSS and everything else shuts down, I'm still here.
Yeah. Well, that's excellent. And we're gonna also at the end of this segment give you information as to how you can, if you know of a child that's in need, or if you know of a person that needs that type of assistance, where you can reach out and get that,
That's wonderful.
get that help. So, if one wants to be a foster parent, can you tell me a little bit how they need to go about doing that?
Yes, there's many organizations out there. So it depends. Individuals have a option to choose which organization they would like to work for.
Okay.
Typically, you will have to take a training. There is fingerprinting, background checks. Anyone in your household 18 and over has to be fingerprinted. And then you'll take a training class, and that's typically for about 8 weeks.
Okay.
And once everything check out, you have your home visit. If all goes well, then you'll become certified.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And you definitely have to have a heart to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make sure of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. But the need is there.
The need is definitely
The need
there.
is definitely
Mhm.
there. So we have so many people that have children that's displaced, and so the need is definitely there.
Mhm.
So if you're interested in becoming a foster parent, like I said, we're gonna give you the information at the end of this segment, and you can move forward with that. You said you had about 30 kids now that you've fostered
Throughout the years.
throughout the years.
Yes.
Okay, so you've been doing this for a long
Yes,
time.
I have. Yes, I have.
Yeah. So, tell me a little bit more about working with the community. I mean, with the training. You said it takes about 6 to 8 weeks, the training does, but overall, about how many, is it a month, or is it 2 months, or after the clearance? You had to get clearance
well, yeah,
in
you
that.
have to wait for that. There's no time. You can't really say. Sometimes it moves quickly. Sometimes things may come up and then move a little slower. So typically, the wait is, say, around 4 months altogether.
Yeah.
And that's after you have done your background check and you have your clearance from that. After you have did your fingerprinting, and they have the clearance from that. They have to do home visits. You have to do your training classes.
Okay.
So it takes a little time, but someone will be working with you. You wouldn't even realize the time that it has taken.
Right.
Because you're constantly doing something to get prepared.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, thank you for your service
You're welcome.
for the community, and that God-given willingness to just help people. But so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
But when we come back, we're going to take a little break in a few minutes, and but when we come back, we're going to talk about Shari's business and her organization and her group, and it's called Self-Motivational Parenting.
Yes.
And she just had a couple of events, and she's had events in the past, but I want her to really kind of expand on that, and we're going to talk about that when we come back.
Thank
Okay?
you.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
Welcome back. This is Counselormsvee. This is the Ask the Counselor show, and I'm here with my special guest, Shari Sullivan. And we're going to talk about her business. So tell me about your business, Shari.
Yes. The organization is called Self-Motivational Parents.
Okay.
And it's a organization, I'm sorry, it's a support group that is specialized for single parents.
Okay.
And that's whether you're a single mom, single dad, whether you're a foster parent, a single grandparent, a sibling raising their younger siblings.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We come to provide support. We come to provide assistance. And just to let you know that you're not alone.
Yeah.
Because when you're a single parent, you don't have that better half, you know, to help you with raising the children. And a lot of time individuals become so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So we have seen homes to be broken up.
Right.
So we come to play a part in helping, you know, to be that parenting, to provide parenting tools. If you need someone to go into the schools with you and advocate for your children, we would do that. We have parents that come from all walks of life.
Yeah.
All walks of life. So we're there to just be an assistance.
Okay. That sounds wonderful. And actually, what inspired you to get that organization going?
I have a family member that I watch. You know, children were exposed to a lot.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be some sort of assistance with, and I was just curious, like, isn't it there someone, you know, is there an organization out there that help to support single parents?
Right.
And I looked and I searched and there was nothing.
Yeah.
And I believe in, you know, I'm very faith-built, grounded. And I heard God say to me, start your own.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
We launched up, we started on January 2nd of 2020, and March 7th we launched out into the community. We started on Facebook, and March 7th we launched out into the community. We had such a grand event for the first time.
Wow.
Being out into the community. Parents came from all walks of life. It was just great. I was so I was so amazed at how God drew the people, and there was testimony stating that, you know, this is something that individuals have been searching for.
Yeah. Well, that's a beautiful thing, and I'm glad that you allowed him to use you
Yes.
that way.
Yes.
And I'm glad that that service is out there because you are not alone. You know,
Yeah.
circumstances maybe a loved one passed, or maybe you find yourself in a position where you have to care for somebody, and you need those extra supports, you know,
Exactly.
to help you, you know, move forward
Exactly.
with the children and be healthy, you and the children.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
so that service is definitely needed, and
Thank
so
you.
I'm glad that that you, like I said, you allow God to help you and move you, and you got that thing going.
Yes.
So I'm
yes,
very
yes.
glad. So tell me about any events or anything that you had in the past, or that you got coming up, or
Oh, we have had so many events. We recently, 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago, last Saturday, we had a great event that was open to the community, and the title of it was "You're Not What They Say You Are."
okay,
And at that event, we talked about incarceration, we talked about generational curses, we talked about grief, we talked about mental illness,
yeah,
we talked about self-love, domestic violence, and street violence. So the community was able to come, and it was held at the Delavan in East Delavan and Moselle Center. And it was open to the community, not just self-motivational parents,
right,
but to the community. So a lot of healing took place. People found a voice to the pain that they were going through,
yeah,
and to know that they're not alone again,
right,
that there is a community that is established to help you to get through whatever you're dealing with,
right,
you know, and we come to be that bridge,
yeah,
you know, that bridge for you to get from a place of distress to a place of healing.
yeah. And that event, people, I'm telling you, was phenomenal. I know that
Thank you.
because Shari had invited me on there to talk about mental health,
Yes.
to be part of the panel. And
Yes.
when I say the panel, she had a whole lot of people that was, you know, they knew their stuff.
You mind
And
if I
they
mention them?
definitely,
You mind if I mention the panel?
oh, please do, yeah.
So for mental health and anxiety, we had your very own Counselormsvee
Thank you.
that did a tremendous, I mean, like a phenomenal job. So we had Deidre Robinson.
Mhm.
She talked about self-love. We had Lucinda Boyd. She has an
Okay.
organization called Saved and Slaved,
Right.
and she talked about self-love also. We had Coach Danita Munn that talked about incarceration,
Right.
because it's not just the men that are incarcerated, there's women
Right.
that have been incarcerated also. So she talked about that from a woman's point of view,
Right.
and to how she have overcome drug addiction.
Right.
So, you know, she was just phenomenal to listen to. We also had Reverend, we had a lot of pastors in the building.
Right.
We had my very own pastor, John Sullivan,
Right.
from New Cedar Grove Life Changing Church.
Yeah.
Then we also had Reverend David Elliott. His wife was there. Her name was Lynette Elliott, and she have an organization called I Am My Sister's Keeper.
Right.
So we had T. Craig Giss, and she's from Snug. We had Monica Webster.
Can you tell me, I want to back up, what's the
Mm-hmm.
SNUG stand for? Do you?
Snug stands for guns,
Okay.
spelled backwards.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there she have Mothers Against Violence.
Right.
You know, so for the mothers that have lost a child or have experienced some violence,
Right.
you know, that her organization was set up for that.
Right.
We also had, who else was in that building? We had Evangelist Bruce Warwick. He
Okay.
came for the healing process of
Right.
everything.
When
I
I
don't-
tell you, it was
Yeah,
it was
I don't want to leave
phenomenal.
anyone out.
It
Yeah.
was phenomenal,
Yeah,
and the panelists, you know, it was very, very educational. Okay.
I'm
go ahead.
sorry. Rayshawn Scott Williams,
Okay.
because she have mobile overdose prevention services.
Right. Yeah.
And that was good because
Yeah.
she gave Narcan training while we
Right.
were there. So
Yeah. So people, look out for the next one because
Yes,
it was
yes.
phenomenal. I was truly blessed and honored to be a
Thank you
part
so
of
much.
that panel. And let me tell you, when Shari just called, she just put out the
Invite, yeah.
invite and just asked people, you know, in those certain fields to come and just speak, and we did. And like I said, that event was just
Yes.
phenomenal.
Thank you.
And we're gonna again tie everything in at the end and let you know where you can join
Yes.
self-motivational parenting, and or if you want to donate, where you can donate, to
Thank you.
self-motivational parenting. So I want to also ask, well, why don't we ask that now? How can people get in contact with you if they want to join? Where's your sites, or do you have an email or website? Why don't you let them know?
Okay. Again, my name is Shari Sullivan, and the website is Self Motivational Parents, and you can find that on. You can Google us. You can
Okay.
find it on Facebook. You can log on to Facebook. It's a public group, and find Self Motivational Parents and hit join, and we will accept your request. Also, one of the things that we want you to do is make sure that you have children, or that you have recently raised a child.
Right.
Because this is all about the kids in reality.
Right.
And in order to protect and heal the children, you have to start with the parents.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's what we're here for. We want to build up the parents so that the parents can go home and build up the children.
Right.
You can also contact me on my email address, which is Shari Sullivan, which is spelled SHARISULLIVAN 11439 at gmail.com.
Okay.
And then also, any donations are sent to $Mia Queen, the number 14.
Okay. All right. So like I said, that all information will be in the credits. So you'll be able to reach out to Shari, whether you want to join, whether you want to donate, what have you. And you have something coming up because the holiday season is here.
Yes.
So I want you to tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. We, December 11th,
Okay.
we're going to have a Christmas exchange, and we're going to just have some fun, and mostly it's fellowshipping. We're
Okay.
going to exchange gifts and just have a good time having dinner together, and we're looking forward to that.
Okay.
And then on December 20th, we're going to have a virtual Christmas party,
Okay.
and individuals have an opportunity to win. They're going to win prizes and gifts and things like that. Lots of giveaways. We try
Right.
to make it fun, and we try to continue to stay connected. And I just want to add this in there. One thing that I love about self-motivational parents is that we meet up in real life. We're
Yeah.
not just on social media. It's not just
Right.
another social media group that you can join.
Right.
We actually meet up in real life. We have support groups all over Buffalo. We
Okay.
meet up at, we have met up before, just recently, at the Frank Merriweather Library, which is right across the
Yeah.
parking lot. We've met there, and we've had a group there, and we talked about surviving through the pandemic.
Right.
We go out, we pass out masks, we have, we collaborate with other organizations. So we really do meet up and spend time together with one another in real life.
Right.
We have accompanied individuals to court. We have accompanied individuals to schools.
Right.
Whatever you need.
Yeah, so
Whatever
the
you
support
need.
is there.
The
So
support is
you don't have to
definitely there.
deal with these, life events by yourself. Like she said, the support is there. All you got to do is request membership
Yes.
and join. Or
Yes.
if you want to, like I said, donate something, or if you just want to be a part of that, the opportunity is there, and just reach out. So I do definitely want to thank you, Shari, for
You are
coming on
welcome.
today.
You're
And
welcome.
for
Thank you for
sharing
having
your
us.
experience and education and everything about the foster and parenting piece, and your business, self-motivational parenting, and that's both of them is wonderful, and I thank God for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So that's about it for today. So I definitely want to thank my audience for tuning in. Again, this is the Ask the Counselor show. I'm Counselormsvee, and I do always like to end with my scripture, which is 2 Timothy 1:7. For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So thank you guys. God bless, and see you soon.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
What's more dangerous? A man who isn't afraid of death or one who's found everything to live for? I asked him if he was proud of me. He emphatically said yes, as he laid his pecan-colored head on my chest, and I went through my mind 1,000 times to figure out what that could possibly mean, and every single example ended in motivation for me. So you may not be afraid to die, but I'm more afraid to let them down. And I found something to live for, which is a dangerous motive forever fueled. See, your thoughts may be involuntary, but my actions are very calculated. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. My sons ain't raised by no coward, and they won't be one either. If this be the measure of a man, the yardstick gonna need way more meters. I take it too far, so they never come up short, because I found everything to live for.